In the beginning, God created the heavens and earth. And it says, now the earth was formless, empty, darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering. That's what it said. It said the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. Now, the many, they kind of gloss over that whole entire phrase and say, oh, okay, God saw something that was dark and formless, and he said, let there be light. But from the beginning, God is really setting the tone of how he wants us to operate. God says in the beginning, God created. God is saying that we have the ability to create. And most of the time when people think of creating, we want to think of, well, I had an idea of something, I created something with my hands. But God is saying, I want us to create with our words. Because the next thing he says was, after he noticed there was darkness, that he decided he wanted there to be light. He didn't go ask their best friend, do you think I should create light? He didn't go form a council with the family and said, I think there should be light because there's darkness. He asked no one. He consulted with no one. And so many of us, whenever there's an idea that's created, that needs to be created, the first thing we see is a need, but then we go consult with a bunch of people when we have the ability ourselves to speak a thing which says, let there be light. And God just wants us to remember that our words are the thing that creates movement. Welcome. Our words are the things that creates the movement of any situation. It's not our bank accounts. It's not our education. It's not our backgrounds. It's not our race. None of those things are creating anything of significant change. When you want something, I want y'all to replace the word light with let there be something else that you need right now. Let there be information, and let God work out the rest. Let there be peace. Let there be healing. Let there be ideas. Let there be funding. Let there be money. Let there be restoration. But we don't need another person to come in to actually do this, to come and to consult with us on this here. There's so many things in our lives. Every one of us can name a dark thing that we find in our life right now. Whether it's trying to find a job, if you have a company, trying to find workers, trying to find contracts to get more jobs, a relationship that you're dealing with may not be in order like you want it to, and it's hovering over you. The person you're with is not moving like you think they should be moving. They may think the same thing about you. There may be the darkness. There may be abuse going on. There may be addiction going on. Whatever that thing that God says, he made it a point to say, I'm telling you in the beginning, when I looked, it was formless. It was empty. Your bank account may be empty. Your relationships may be formless, may not have a form. There may not be any definition to a relationship. And I don't mean a relationship as far as a spouse. It could be a relationship with your brother. It could be a relationship with your daughter. It could be a relationship with your granddaughter, your grandson. It could be a relationship with your sister that is dark and looming over you. But then when it says, the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters, that means he was looking. He was hovering. He was looking down and saying, what is this thing that I want to do? And he said, you know what, let there be light. And then there was. So I want us today to move forward with whatever thing that is in our lives that is a darkness, whatever is formless, whatever is empty. I want us to move forward with the spirit of saying, I have the ability to speak a thing. And then we talked about it before with faith the size of a mustard seed to move a mountain. Many of us are still waiting on God to do something when God is saying, the only thing I'm waiting on you to do is do what I did in the beginning. In the beginning, God created. He saw it was darkness and empty, and he hovered, and then he said, let there be. While you sat there waiting on God to make a move, God said, you waiting on me. I'm waiting on you. Speak something besides darkness. Don't tell me about the darkness. Don't tell me that you're broke. Don't tell me you're black. Don't tell me you're a woman. Don't tell me I've been married multiple times. Don't tell me I've been divorced multiple times. Don't tell me my back aches. Don't tell me that my neck aches. Don't tell me that she's been on drugs for as long as I can remember. Don't tell me he's been on drugs and had problems and mental issues as long as I can remember. God said, not one time in this thing that he said, oh my goodness, it is dark. What am I going to do? In verse 3, he just said, let there be. So once you start acting and moving and manifesting off of just operating in the mindset of let there be something besides what is, he said in the opposite of what was, he just spoke it. That's it. He spoke it. And the minute he saw it, it later on, she says, God saw the light was good and he separated from light and darkness. But y'all don't understand the power of what just happened there. Many people are always saying they need to see something. God said, you're going to see what you start seeing can be. Oh, I want to see this thing move. Well, say something that make it move. Well, I want to see. I want to see. What they're going to do first. They're going to do what you speak first. So once you speak it, then you can come and see. I saw the light was good. Now you have something to move from for it. But the first thing starts with your words. That's what it starts with. That's what it starts with. If anybody comes to me and needs insight and direction, I'm always going to lean off of faith in what you've been speaking. What you speaking? Are you speaking life or are you speaking death? What are you doing? And people, when they say, oh, you mean life and death, not life meaning, are you speaking dead? I'm saying, are you speaking life into that situation? And are you speaking light in that situation? Are you speaking darkness over that situation? And many times I want to remind y'all, when you start speaking a thing, the enemy has an obligation. And I want you on the other side to say obligation. I can't hear you, but say to yourself, the devil has an obligation to disrupt your light. See, as long as we believe in God, we have to believe that there's the enemy, and the enemy's job is to do opposite, to show opposite. His job is to show the darkness side of everything. His job is to show you that it is unbearable, it is too much. That is his job, to make sure you quit and you don't say, let there be. He wants you to look at your negative $25 in your bank account, knowing that you have another bill about to come through, and he wants you to say, Lord, you know my bank account. No, God says, what you telling me? That's the obvious. I already know that information. Why are you wasting your breath telling me this information? Why don't you tell me the light? Why don't you say, Lord, my account is a plus $2,500 and all my bills are paid? That's how I want you to start speaking. I can tell y'all from first-hand accounts of the times that I've spoken a situation that counts. Every time I keep speaking something that I see, not that I currently see, that I see, I want to see, that I'm like, oh, I can see that happening. Let me start speaking it. You have no idea how many times that thing has come to pass quickly. God said, I'm going to work out the details. That's not your problem. That's not your deal. You just need to speak it. So I want y'all to leave today with saying, let there be. And I want you to write it down. Put it in your phone, put it on a notepad. Just write it down. What is the one thing that is in your life? Because we all have a thing. I don't care who you are. We all have a thing that's formless and empty, that we want to be full and have form to it and be lit up. We all have a thing. And I want you to write it down, that thing. And I want you to say, instead of saying now the earth was formless in darkness, I want you to say my relationship with such and such is formless and dark. And I said, let there be. That's what I want y'all to do. Right now it's time for y'all to take action. Just like you're in school, you have to take some action. You have to write down your homework. This is your homework. You don't have to tell us what it is. You just have to write it down and say, this is the thing that needs light. And I need you to say, let there be. And let it be in abundance, not just barely enough. Let it be in abundance.